everyone, my name is Sean Arnold and welcome to the deck profile video for my Resonator Laval deck, which I showed off in a gameplay video earlier today. If you want to see some gameplay, please click on the link in the description and you can see how this deck works. This is a Laval deck which is made as a hybrid deck between Lavals and Red Resonators, and it works out really well in my opinion. Since starting this series of doing launches, my aim has really been to go back to these older archetypes and learn how effective they can be and what they could do, as well as learning their backstories. And one thing which I've learned with the dual terminal decks is that most of them, except for the violence, but most of them are, still have really good engines which work in today's day and age. A lot of the cards in the archetype aren't as effective as they used to be, but there are still some really core cards which can make a really good engine, and when mixed with other cards can still be viable in today's day and age. And for Lavals, those are the cards which focus on milling to the graveyard and banishing to get certain effects. So we're going to go and break down this build here. What I noticed in doing my research to build this deck is that a lot of people used to build Lavals to focus on building a monster called Shooting Star Quasar Dragon. If I go and look at Quasar, I can quickly show it to you. It is a really powerful synchro monster that is level 12, and Shooting Quasar Dragon, there he is, that has the effect of being able to negate face-up cards on the field, and then also getting off, bringing out other monsters when it is when it leaves the field. Shooting Quasar builds are really good, but since then we've had a brand new card called Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss, which kind of almost completes the same job, but it's much easier to summon, and we'll talk about how to bring that out a little bit more through the deck profile. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to break down what cards are in the deck, and then I'm going to talk about a couple of combos which we have available. This deck runs 22 monsters, but feel free to modify this and change this if you so desire, especially with the hand traps here, which are kind of generic. You don't have to run these. These are just things which I put in because they're generic and they work in this day and age well in Yu-Gi-Oh! Those cards being Effect Veiler. Effect Veiler is a level 1 tuner. It is light, which doesn't really help it too much here, but being a tuner and a monster which can be used to negate face-up effects on the field during your opponent's main phase can be really useful. I don't often use Veiler's negation effect that much, I find, but there are times when I do wish I had it around, so it's always quite useful. And in a synchro deck, you really have no excuse not to run a Veiler. I'm going to go for the generic one, and they're kind of cross-cut over here. Then to Maxi. Maxi is also a very generic card. Maxi is an insect type monster which during either player's turn you can discard it from your hand to the graveyard, and anytime your opponent special summons you get to draw a card. Even if you manage to only get one card out of it, it's still worth playing, but yeah, it's just there as a hand trap because you don't want to run too much back row in this day and age with cards like Twin Twister around. So let's go on to the rest of the monsters here, which are a little bit more specific. I'm going to start off with one of the main Laval cards, Laval Volcano Handmaiden. She is also a level 1 tuner with 200 defense, which is very important, but her effect is what really makes her shine, and that is when this card is sent to the graveyard. If you have a Laval monster in your graveyard other than Laval Volcano Handmaiden, you can send one Laval monster from your deck to your graveyard. This can be activated in a variety of different ways, but be careful that she doesn't miss the timing, because she is a when this card effect, not an if this card effect. If this card is mandatory, when this card is optional. So if she's sent to the graveyard for a tribute or sent to the graveyard for a synchro summon, she won't be activated. But there are plenty of ways to trigger her effect in this deck, so you won't really have to worry about this too much. Her effect is great because when you send it to the graveyard, you can then trigger her effect, send another one, and you really want to pack up your graveyard with lots and lots of Lavals because there are a variety of effects that benefit from them. Being a level 1 tuner is also really useful, and just overall she is one of the best Laval cards still available to us. Next card is Synchron Resonator, the first Resonator card in the deck. Synchron Resonator is also a level 1 tuner that has two really awesome effects. The first one is that if a synchro monster is on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand. 3 summons? Yes please. Then it says that you can only special summon one Synchron Resonator once per turn this way. And the second effect is if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can target one other Resonator monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. So it gives you a little bit of a cycle effect, and the target for that will be Red Resonator, who is the MVP of this deck, the real reason why this deck works so well. What's amazing about Red Resonator is that he also has 200 defense. Those who are familiar with Lavals know why 200 defense is important, but being a fire type with 200 defense means he fits with this archetype so well. Plus his effects are also top notch as well. He's a level 2 fiend type monster, and he's also a tuner. And when he is normal summon, you can special summon one level 4 or lower monster from your hand. So he's got that Goblin Debug effect. But then being a tuner means he can go into a synchro quite quickly. His second effect is as follows. When this card is special summoned from the graveyard, you can target one face up monster on the field, gain life points equal to its attack. This is a really good effect, and it combos really well with some other cards. So I'll come back to it in a bit later, but you can gain some really crazy life points with this. Be aware that you can only use one effect of these each per turn, so you can't spam this too much, but Red Resonator is absolutely solid. We do have some warriors in this deck, and I am running reinforcement of the army, so I have TG Striker in here just as an alternative option, because he is technically a free summon and a tuner monster, so he can work out well in a synchro deck, and he's quite splashable. That's the only reason why he's there. If you don't want to run him, feel free to take him out, but there are a few options there, and the other Laval monsters aren't necessarily worth running, and there aren't too many other warrior ones, but having a few more options for searching is always good in my opinion, so I put TG Striker in there for that reason. Back to the Laval monsters. Our next Laval monster is Laval Lakeside Lady. She is also a card that likes to be in the graveyard and works really well with Volcano Handmaiden. She's a level 3 tuner monster, and how she works is if this card is in your graveyard and you have 3 or more Laval monsters with different names in your graveyard, you can banish this card and one other Laval monster from your graveyard to target one set card your opponent controls. Destroy that target. Mostly you will use this card to kind of clear your opponent's back row and put pressure on them, but sometimes you can do it for monsters too. And like I said, she combos really well with Volcano Handmaiden. Ideally, you will want to start milling with Volcano Handmaiden through whatever method you are able to. And the last card you want to mill after you've done her is Laval Lakeside Lady. And then once you have made these two and one more Laval monster in the graveyard, you will be able to then use her effect and start banishing it to get rid of your opponent's set cards. As for the bigger Laval monsters, we have two level 4 monsters. We have Laval Blaster and Laval Cannon. Blaster is a miller. He can, when he is normal summon, you can choose up to 5 cards. You can take that many cards from the top of your deck and send them to the graveyard. He's an alternative method to milling, plus he's a warrior monster, so he's searchable. I don't really use him too much or rely on him too much. Normally, by the time I get Laval Blaster, I have already milled the important key cards from my deck to the graveyard already, but he's there as an alternative option, and he's one of the better Laval monsters still around there to use. The better one though is Laval Cannon, and he's the reason why we run Rotor in this deck. He's a warrior type monster with 1600 attack, which is not so bad, but his effect is what makes him shine. When he is normal summon or flip summon, you can target one of your banished Laval monsters and special summon that target. Sometimes I draw into this card a little bit too early, so you might want to consider reducing it down to 2 if you can think of another card to put in this deck. But his ability to get a free summon is really good. If you manage to banish, say, Handmaiden or Lakeside Lady through Lakeside Lady's effect, you can go into a easy to summon level 7 summon with Lakeside Lady, or normal special summon Laval Volcano Handmaiden and go into a level 5 summon like TG Hyper Librarian and go from there. Easy card to use, great way to recycle your banished cards, and yeah, just a solid monster overall. Then we have Red Sprinter, another level 4 monster. This is to support my resonators in my deck. When he is normal or special summon, while you have no other monsters on the field, you can special summon one lower level 3 or lower fiend type tuner monster from your hand or your graveyard. That is to target Resonator, Red Resonator or Synchron Resonator. Normally you will go for Red Resonator, because with Red Resonator you can then use its special summon effect to recover more life points, and if you use it with Red Sprinter, that's easily 1700, but it can also target your opponent's monsters, so if they have a big monster on the field, you can target their attack and get a big life point boost with that. Most importantly though, it's another free summon and you can go into a synchro from that play. The last 3 monsters in this deck are Primitive Butterfly. I've talked about it before in other synchro builds that I've done, but Primitive Butterfly is one of the best synchro fodder monsters out there, maybe even for a rank deck as well. It is a free, easy to summon special summon monster that is level 5, that you can special summon when you control no monsters, and then once per turn you can increase the level of all your insect type monsters by 1, so you can make it a level 5 monster or a level 6 monster, meaning you get some versatility in terms of what monsters you can go for your synchro deck. This makes a really good combo for the deck for bringing out Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit later on. We have now some cards here which are very generic. I'm just going to fly through. We have Foolish Burial to mill because this is a deck that benefits from graveyard effects. Instant Fusion at 3 for our generic fusion targets of Thousand Eyes Restrict and Elder Entity Northern. We have 3 copies because we can recycle our graveyard monsters with Psy-Frame Lord Omega. Mind Control because this is a synchro deck and we can use monsters we take for a synchro summon. Now a Laval card here called Molten Conduction Field. This is an amazing card, very simple and easy to use. Send 2 Laval monsters from your deck to the graveyard. This is a fantastic card here, and now I'll talk about one of the first things you want to do. If you manage to draw this card early, you ideally want to mill a Laval Lakeside Lady and then a Volcano Handmaiden, then combo and go for your other Volcano Handmaiden, so you'll be able to chain, go into this one, go into that one, and then with your last one, maybe mill Blaster because you don't need to mill anymore, and then you can activate Laval Lakeside Lady straight away. So with one card, you can mill 5 cards from your deck quite quickly, and then you can use them to get rid of your opponent's set cards. Awesome card, really great card for sending monsters to the graveyard, and just a better version of Foolish Burial all in all. Then we have Raigeki, Rotor to search out our 5 warriors in the deck. Rekindling is an awesome card. If you're familiar with Soul Charge, it does the same thing, but it only special summons monsters which are fire type and have 200 defense. The targets for this are mostly our tuners. We have Volcano Handmaiden with 200 defense, we have Red Resonator with 200 defense, and Lakeside Lady with 200 defense. So you can summon a bunch of tuners for free, really. If they stay on the field, you have to banish them during your end phase. But with these different levels in terms of tuner monsters, you can chain tune quite easily. So let's say you have a level 4 monster out on the field already, and then you bring out the Handmaiden, a Lakeside, and a Red Resonator. I could synchro into a 5, then synchro into a 7, and then synchro into a 10. You know, there are just so many different things you could do, and Rekindling is a great plus card for this deck. Not to mention it also will trigger Red Resonator's effect, so you can get some life points for it. Well, on that thought, I am going to jump over to Soul Charge. Soul Charge is very much like Rekindling, where it recovers tons of monsters from your graveyard, but you have to pay life points to do so. You have to pay 1,000 life points for every monster you choose. Normally this is a really costly card, and you want to do this when you can kind of guarantee you're going to get some advantage out of it. But what's great about using Soul Charge in this deck is Red Resonator. If you special summon Red Resonator and there is a big monster on the field, you can use its effect to gain back a lot of the life points that you spent to pay for Soul Charge. So in past situations, I've used Soul Charge and I've managed to recover Hot Red Dragon Archfiend here, and by paying 4,000 life points to pay for all my monsters, I then recovered 3,000 and made this basically a 1,000 costing card to summon out 4 monsters. It is awesome in this deck. I love this little synergy between that and Red Resonator, and it's just another bonus to this deck. With the Resonators being so important, we also run Resonator Cool, which searches out your Resonators. Ideally, you use this to get out Red Resonator ASAP, but getting Synchro Resonator to your hand is also useful for other combos. Last but not least, we have 2 Twin Twisters because they run really well in this deck. You can't use them to trigger Volcano Handmaiden, unfortunately, so discarding this deck isn't really too bad. And then you also have Duskflame Blast, the last unique card here, where you can banish all of our monsters from your graveyard and destroy that many number of cards on the field, up to the number of monsters that you banished. Really good versatile trap card that can destroy tons of cards on the field, and you don't have to destroy everything, you can just destroy what you want. Very versatile, and the fact that you're banishing isn't too bad in this deck. So, we're going to the extra deck really quickly. I won't talk about them all. Thousand Eyes Restrict and Northern for our instant fusion targets. TG Hyper Librarian because this is a synchro deck and therefore we can get lots of draws. Laval Dragoon is a unique monster who once per turn you can add 1 Laval monster from your deck to your hand and then send one Laval monster from your hand to the graveyard. You can search out Volcano Handmaiden with this and then trigger her effect, so you can start chain milling, or you can go for Lakeside Lady or anything you want really. If you have a Laval monster in your hand already, other than the one you choose, you can just swap them basically. Take one from your deck, search out maybe a Laval cannon, and then mill something else, and you're getting some really good advantage from that. There are other Laval synchros, and besides maybe Stennon, they are a little bit out of date. Or not really suitable for the meta, which is why I'm not running them. But you can have if you want to have a look at them and you want to put them in the deck, feel free to give it a try. I just find that these monsters aren't as effective in the current format as these other synchros. Stardust Charge Warrior for draws, Black Rose Dragon to nuke, Black Rose Moonlight to bounce, Crystal Wing Synchro for protect, because it protects itself and its Crystal Wing, it's amazing. Hot Red Dragon Archfiend, I'll talk about in a second with the other Archfiends. Cyframe Lord Omega, one of the best level 8 synchros out there. Scrap Dragon, amazing versatile card. Trishula, don't normally summon it much, but if you summon Trishula, you will practically win the game. And now let's talk about the Hot Red Dragon Archfiends. I run 4 different Hot Red Dragon Archfiends. You do need to run at least one level 8 one for Abyss, but these cards are really awesome and really great to use. They are a lot behind DLC along with Crystal Wing and Cyframe Lord Omega, so do be aware of that. You don't have to use these, but they are very, very useful cards. Hot Red Dragon Archfiend and Starlight are very, very similar. Hot Red Dragon Archfiend's effect is that once per turn you can destroy all other face-up attack position monsters on the field, and monsters other than this card cannot attack the turn you activate this effect. So it's got this kind of Raigeki effect. So this only affects monsters in attack position, whereas Scarlet Red Dragon affects monsters which are special summoned effect monsters on the field, regardless of their position, and then you get to burn your opponent for 500 damage for each. The reason why I'm running both of these is because there are different situations when you want either one's effect. I've been in moments where I don't want to destroy my monsters and therefore I prefer Hot Red Dragon, and then there are moments when you just want to hit everything and therefore you want to hit Scarlet Red Dragon. Just that kind of option is really helpful, but most importantly these are dark level 8 dragon type monsters which we can then use with a level 1 tuner to go into Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss, which requires 1 tuner and 1 non-tuner dark dragon type synchro monster. How this card works is during either player's turn, you can target one face-up card your opponent controls and negate its effect. So even if it's a spell card, even if it's Twin Twister and they play that card, you can just negate that and shut that down. And then its second effect is that when this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can target one tuner monster in your graveyard and special summon it in defense position. And ideally, a card which you can summon with this would be something like Red Resonator. If you summon Red Resonate with this, you can then target Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss and then get 3,200 life points for your efforts. Solid card, really great to do there. The last one here is Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Bane, and you can use this. You can summon this with one tuner and one non-tuner dark dragon type synchro monster. So Red Dragon Archfiend and Red Resonator work really well to get this out. And how this card works is as follows: you contribute one monster, then target one Red Dragon Archfiend monster in your graveyard. Special summon it. When this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can special summon 2 tuners with the same level, one from your deck and one from your graveyard in defense position. You can only use each effect of Hot Red Dragon Archfiend per turn. I don't often use this too much, but if I can summon this out and then bring back Abyss straight away, then hell yeah, I'll go for that, because that pressure is amazing. And if I'm in a situation where I can comfortably get out Bane and then get out Abyss, it's pretty much game. It's pretty much all over and done with. So let's talk about a couple of combos real quick before we wrap up this video here. This has been a long deck profile, I'm sorry for that, but a couple of things which you might want to be aware of is how to summon certain monsters. Primitive Butterfly is a really good card and a key card in this deck. A good easy way to bring out Abyss will be to use Primitive Butterfly, Red Resonator, and any other level 1 tuner that is available to you. So you will special summon Butterfly to the field, make it level 6, then normal summon Red Resonator and special summon any other level 1 tuner. You don't even have to, you can use Synchro Resonator if the situation is right and summon it for free. And then you will go into a level 8 synchro with Red Resonator and Primitive Butterfly, summon out one of your Hot Reds or Scarlet Reds, and then you will go for a level 1 synchro, level 9 synchro into Abyss, and go from there, and you get out your Abyss really easily. There's just tons of little things you can do in this deck, tons of little combos, and yeah, no, overall this is a really solid deck build. Really enjoyed it, and give it a try. It's very, very rewarding. If you guys ever want to play against me, feel free to hit me up on YouTube or on PSN, the Arnold's Play. Excuse me, my voice is going there. And hopefully you enjoyed this deck profile. If you want to see some gameplay with it in action, feel free to click on the link in the description. And yeah, thank you for tuning into this video. Take care.